on this computer. Awesome. And we are ready to begin. Oh, guys, you're muted. You are muted. Unmute, unmute, unmute.
Thank you.
There we go. Works much better that way.
Good morning, everyone. Let's all start together with an Om. So we come into the vibration of this wonderful experience. In God's mind, it's already happened. In God's mind, it's already here. The peace that passes all understanding. Now love has overcome the fear. Arise, 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 God's children. Arise, awake, let's make this day to realize this life for which we chose to cast the bane of doubt away. That's it. And chorus love. Hey, everyone. Holy, holy, souls awakening, sacred temple where it calls again. Holy Spirit, moving, moving through the light of all that I am. As the Spirit moves me, as the Spirit moves into the light of all that I am. Into the light. Holy Spirit, move me into the light of all that I am. That's right. Holy, holy, souls awakening, sacred pathways are opening. Well, they're opening. 7 stars are shining brightly as of all that I am. As the Spirit moves me, as the Spirit moves into the light of all that I am. All that I am. Holy Spirit, move me into the light. Into the light of all that I ladies. So let's take a moment of prayer now. I invite you to take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. And enter into the Holy of Holies within. I believe that the words of these songs have told us exactly what we will be meeting today in this summit. In God's mind, it's already happened. In God's mind, it's already here. For in truth, there is no time and space in God's mind. We live in a virtual experience. Things are always happening all at the same time. We just get to choose. Holy souls awakening into the light of all I am. I believe that each one of you has been called here today for a purpose. You may not know what that is yet, but you will. The promise of this summit, as Jackie has written, is humanity reimagined. Consciously creating the next step in human evolution, and igniting a world where love and unity prevail. So I invite you to hold those thoughts, that vision, humanity reimagined, throughout this day and throughout the next 2 weeks if you are participating. And to get a vision in your mind, what that would mean and what that would feel like. Because as we are, so it shall be. As we believe, so shall it be. As we see with the eyes behind our eyes, see with our God eyes, so shall it be. So we have been called to sacred purpose, to reimagine the path that humanity is taking them. So be it. Amen and amen.
Thank you so much, Shipley. Wow. Thank you, Meg. Thank you, Lisa. And welcome everyone to the Conscious Living Summit. Again, I am Jackie Woodside, and I want to just say a minute before we start with our messages from our esteemed and wonderful speakers, why I felt called, why God put it on my heart, my soul to engage in this thing called the Conscious Living Summit. You know, we are living in such extraordinary times. How lucky we are to be alive right now, to borrow a line from the Hamilton musical. How lucky we are to be alive right now. And maybe you're thinking, well, what do you mean how lucky we are? Because things are a mess out there. Exactly. And we have been born for this exact time. And there's a lot of talk today about consciousness and about awakening and about what it means. And there's a lot of teachers and, you know, does it mean that I'm, you know, I have to go off on a retreat in Tibet, or does it mean I should, you know, do some kind of a pilgrimage? Does it mean that I should do an ayahuasca journey, or do I take the the yoga course that's offered at the YMCA and the meditation class that's at the Adult Education Center? So because I'm so passionate about raising consciousness on the planet, I'm passionate about awakening, I wanted to bring together some of the, you know, what I feel are the best teachers out there, the best teachers and speakers, to really put our minds together into this question of what does it mean to live consciously? If our purpose, our goal in life is to awaken, the church I used to attend, Unity on the River, that Shipley founded, the mission statement was, our mission is to awaken humanity to its divinity, celebrate the presence and awaken humanity to its divinity. So I just want to celebrate that. I want to celebrate that humanity is awakening. And sometimes, you know what? That awakening is messy. And we might be in the messy part right now. The chrysalis that's going into the muck before it emerges as the butterfly. And we need to come together to strengthen one another, to love one another, to realize we're not alone in this. And that many people across humanity are committed to awakening. Let's celebrate that together, shall we? And I couldn't think of anyone better to begin kicking us off today to celebrate that message than someone who's been, you know, doing this, teaching this in this space for as long as some of you have been alive. The esteemed Deborah Poneman, who I'm just so thrilled to welcome to the Conscious Living Summit stage today to bring us her thoughts. And also she'll be following this up with a wonderful interview that'll be coming to you all who have registered for the summit. So that'll be a longer, life-changing, really was a life-changing discussion for me with Deb. So Deb, I want to welcome you and invite your thoughts to the Conscious Living Summit.
Thank you so much. And hey, it's already been worth the price of admission with that. For the music and the prayer, I'm just like, here I am at the Great Wolf Lodge in Water Park. Thus my beautiful jewelry. I have to tell you, these wristbands, you're not going to believe this. Do you know that these wristbands not only get you into the water park, but they actually, you swipe it and it's your door key, and you swipe it and you pay at the restaurant, and your wristband. I mean, like, what won't they think of next? But anyway.
I love that, Deb. Don't give it to the kids, okay?
Yeah, right. Because then they go right to the arcade.
Swipe.
But they're having such a good time. They're my little godsons, they're 4 and 3.5, and they think they are in heaven. Thus I've been actually already, what do you call it? Floating down the lazy river with them. Came back, just tried to dry my hair. But anyway, so thank you so much for inviting me. And even though I knew where I was going to be, I would never say no to you. You're one of the angels on earth, and I just adore you. So it's really an honor to be here at the Conscious Living Summit. And, and also, I just have to say, I love all the speakers coming up for the event. So everybody, this is the kickoff, but we have Sue Mortar and John DeMartini and Ken Foster and Reverend Temple. I mean, so many of my idols are going to be on this. And just, I know there's a ton more, but those are the people who, I know personally, and they are just sensational. So my contribution to this kickoff celebration after 40 years of teaching. Well, I actually became a meditation teacher in the 1970s. So that's why Jackie says I've been doing this for so long. I became a TM teacher. I went to teacher training in 1971. But then in 1980, I started teaching success. And I've been teaching principles of creating true success, inner and outer success, around the world for 40 years. And it's been very exciting to share that. But just recently, I started teaching the secrets to having radiant health. And if we're going to celebrate conscious living, one of the things we have got to do is put our attention on our health. And I actually teach a course on slowing and reversing the aging of your brain and your body, because I'm going to be 90. No, that's not true. But it's not true. But I am going to be 70 in a couple months. And after the 10,000 person said to me, no way, I realized, you know what? I have got to teach people how to keep your brain and your body fluid and young and radiant, because I think with advances in technology and also going back to the basics like nutrition, we're going to live easily into our 90s and 100s. So we might as well be enjoying it and not like hooked up to a bunch of machines to keep us, breathing, right? So, and I'm going to add that I'm not an MD. I don't have a degree in anything health related, but I do consider myself an expert in health and anti-aging, because I have been teaching it for over 40 years as part of my Yes to Success seminar. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to teach you not only the things that can help you remain ageless, but the same things that help you remain ageless will give you abundant good health. So I'm going to pack into my 10 minutes of fame everything I can to help you to have unlimited energy, clear thinking, a great memory, deep happiness, better libido, radiant health, everything you want, whether you're in your 20s or 70s or 80s or 90s or hundreds. Okay. And I'm going to give you just one tip in each of 4 categories. And there are 3 categories that you would expect if I was talking about health, the usual: sleep, diet, exercise, and then one that's probably going to be a big surprise to you. All right. You with me, everybody?
Yeah, that's good.
I know Pam and Steve. I see some of my wonderful students on here, and they're thinking, oh, is she going to talk about, the same thing? Yeah.
Oh, they're thinking, oh, great. I get to learn more from Deb about the same topics.
Yes.
Awesome.
And And the great thing is that I want you to really listen so that everybody actually does what I recommend. So first, diet, excuse me. If you only do one thing in the area of diet for better health and longevity, I would say it would be, and we could have some guesses, put some guesses in the chat. If I gave you one thing to do for better health, what do you think it would be?
I love you.
For diet, just put it in the chat. Eat organic.
Yeah, self-love.
This is diet. Meditate. Oh, see my students, they gave it away. All right. Gratitude is a good one. Yes, we always pray over our food before we put good energy into it by praying over it before we eat. But the one thing that we want, if we really want radiant health, we stop eating white refined sugar. It is the worst offender when it comes to brain inflammation. And inflammation in your brain is the main cause of unclear thinking and your brain atrophying, aging too fast, Alzheimer's. White refined sugar in foods that act the same in your system, like refined carbs, white bread, white pasta, is causing inflammation. What it does is it slows down the communication between the neurons, and this is what causes you to feel dull and foggy and forgetful, like, why did I walk in this room? And brain inflammation is serious. It's not anything to take lightly, because it means that nerve cells in the brain are dying out. So that's why it plays a significant role in Alzheimer's. And also, when you eat white sugar, it causes inflammation in other parts of your body, and is the culprit in many degenerative diseases like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, of course, arthritis, osteoporosis, even some cancers. Yes, cancers love white sugar. So start using sugar substitutes, stevia, monk fruit, date sugar, even raw unrefined cane sugar is fine, but all in moderation. But white refined sugar, and of course, no Splenda or NutraSweet, which are worse in causing brain inflammation, but that's a talk for another time. Okay, so if we're going to celebrate conscious living, the first thing we're going to do is eat consciously. The second thing we want to do is exercise consciously. And no, I'm not going to tell you to do yoga, believe it or not, because there is now compelling research that's concluded that there are 2 exercise methods that could slow the aging process better than any others by actually preventing cellular aging. And I think you're going to be surprised what they are. And like I say, one is not yoga. One is endurance training, also called aerobic exercise. Anything that increases your heartbeat or your breath rate, like running or cycling or walking quickly, not strolling, but you get your steps in, you got to get them in fast. And the other is HIIT. And what HIIT stands for is high intensity interval training. Now, it seems like really that's so intense, isn't it, aging you? Well, you're going to be surprised. By the way, those of you who don't know what HIIT is, it's very high intensity burst of cardio exercise followed by an equal or longer period of rest. So think about this, 30 seconds of really walking fast or sprinting. Anybody could do that for 30 seconds. And then it's followed by a minute or 2 of walking or jogging slowly. So here's the thing, guys. In a study published in the European Heart Journal, researchers examined the effects of all kinds of exercise over a 6-month period with about 120 something, I can't remember, participants. And the participants were told to perform one of these exercise modalities. And at the end of the 6 months, what the researchers found was that high intensity interval training increased your telomeres. Anybody know what a telomere is?
Yeah.
Okay. It's those nucleotide sequences, and they're found at the end of our chromosomes. And when the telomeres shorten, that's when aging occurs. I actually first heard about this from Michael Beckwith. I was out to lunch with him. He says, do you know about telomeres? I'm like, no, but now there's a lot of talk about telomeres. So high intensity interval training and endurance training were the only exercise modalities found to increase telomere length, thus producing an anti-aging effect. So I thought that was very exciting to share with you. I mean, yoga and stretch and Pilates does other things, but this actually lengthens your telomeres. Okay, on to sleep. we all know we need to get enough sleep, but what most people don't know is that when you sleep is equally or more important than how long you sleep for staying young and vibrant and having a clear brain. So what do I mean by that? In our sleep, you know, we produce HGH, human growth hormone. It's produced during our sleep, and it's the anti-aging hormone. So HGH is involved in brain function, mood, endurance, immunity. It also increases the skin elasticity. It stimulates fat burning if you're trying to lose weight. It increases muscle mass. It increases bone density. And the good news is that we can increase our production of HGH by 5-fold depending on our sleep habits. Now, if I'm going to give you a little quiz. Put in the chat, do you think it's better to sleep 8 hours between midnight and 8, or between 2 a.m. and 10, or 7 hours between 10 and 5? Okay, put that in the chat. 7 hours between 10 and 5, or 8 or 9 hours. Okay, 10 and 5. All right. Okay, so everybody is guessing 10 and 5. And the answer is 10 and 5. See, logically, you'd think 8 or 9 hours would be better. But because our circadian rhythms in a human being, we still go to, our circadian rhythms start going into sleep mode when the sun goes down. So think about that. The sun goes down and your body starts going into rest mode. So, because we're still tuned in to the times that there were no electric lights and you had to go to bed when the sun went down. So HGH production begins around 9-10 o'clock. It peaks at 12 o'clock, and then it begins to decline until about 2 o'clock when there's almost no HGH production. So if you go to sleep at midnight or 1 o'clock, you miss peak or almost all human growth hormone production. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so Jackie thinks it's amazing.
I love it. Yeah, no, and you know, Deb, what I'm present to is how what you're talking about really is us being conscious and waking up about our health.
That's it, because this is a conscious living summit, and if you don't have your health, then that's the basis of conscious living.
Right.
Again, if you have brain inflammation, you can't, there's a less chance that you can do things consciously,
Right.
because it affects the effectiveness of your brain. And there's one more thing, okay? And so you thought, yeah, she'll talk about sleep, she'll talk about diet, she'll talk about exercise, but science is saying that one of the most insidious causes of aging of the skin, damage to the eyes, to the brain is, you guys aren't going to believe this, the blue light that emits from our computer screens. Yes, this is in addition to the EMFs that are floating all around us, emitting from our cell phones and the 5G towers, but that's a topic for another day. But that light that is coming off the screen of your computer is called blue light, and it's known to have long-term health effects. Even the health letter of the Harvard Medical School last July said, I actually have a quote here. It says, blue light can affect your sleep if you don't turn off your computer a couple hours before you go to sleep, and potentially cause disease. This is a Harvard Medical School letter. Cancer, diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and more. And studies also that say that continued exposure to blue light over time could lead to damaged retinal cells and eventually to vision problems like age-related macular degeneration and even blindness. And blue light exposure is of particular concern for children, especially little ones, because their developing eyes absorb more blue light than adults, putting them at greater risk for long-term damage to their eyes. In fact, some researchers, this is not, I know it doesn't sound uplifting for our conscious life celebration, but I really think, I hope people are appreciating that they're getting to learn this. They say that our kids who are spending hours and hours and hours remote learning in front of the screens, that the biggest health problem 30, 40 years from now is going to be macular degeneration and blindness among this generation of children. But there's good news. And the good news is that there's a very easy fix. You just get a blue light protector for your screen. And there are tons of sources. There's a company called iJust. There's a company called, what's the one that I always recommend? iJust is good enough. It's easy to remember, EYEJUST. It's like $30. I mean, you could probably get one on Amazon, but I did my research, and this is one of the companies that I found had the best. And also you can get what I have, which is blue light glasses. So these are blue light blocking glasses. So I'm a fanatic about my eyes. So I have both the screen and my blue light blocking glasses. I don't have them when I have to look pretty for y'all. But also when you protect yourself, you're also, because other things that are associated with blue light, this is the last uplifting thing I'm going to say today, is that blue light is also associated with headaches and suppression of melatonin production. So if you're on the computer a lot, also again, diabetes, heart disease, obesity, cancer, but wearing these, and because your kids probably, or your grandkids probably won't wear the glasses, so get them the screen. And the last thing I'm going to say is that blue light has also been shown to age the skin. So believe it or not, dermatologists are not saying that if you spend a lot of time in front of the computer, you should put on a sunscreen of at least 40 SPF. And there, I have a quote from a dermatologist, Dr. Stephanie Williams, who was quoted in Harper's Bazaar magazine. She said, "We are now seeing increasing data on the potential long-term harms of blue light on our skin. Our digital devices are swiftly being labeled the silent agers of our generation." And then Dr. Murad, you know, he has his own, he's a dermatologist, he has his own skincare line. He said this: "Spending 4 8-hour workdays in front of a computer exposes you to the same amount of energy, sun energy, as 20 minutes in the strong midday sun at the equator." I mean, who would do that? Like lie in the sun for 20 minutes at noon at the equator? No, you know the damage to your skin. But 4 8-hour days without a screen, without a blue blocker screen in front of your computer, causes the same damage.
And somebody's asking for the name brand of the one that you recommended in the chat.
It's EYEJUST.
iJust.
iJust. There's another one called AccuShield, which I also like, but they're in England, so it takes a while to get. But iJust is really good, and it just goes, and it doesn't change. People say, "Oh, does it change the color?" You know, I don't like anything that makes my screen yellow or something. No, you do not even know it's on. So get yourself and your kids blue blocker screens, and that's my good news for today.
Awesome.
And my contribution.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Conscious Living Summit.
Yay. So thank you so much, Deb. You're actually, this is so perfect, because one of the things I teach in my curriculum for conscious living is that our job as spiritual beings having a human experience is to show mastery both in the inner domain of consciousness and emotion and thought and beliefs, but also mastering the outer domain of health and money and communication and relationships. It is living at the intersection of the ethereal and the physical that has us truly transcend and master life. So that's exactly what you've brought forth to us. And I have to say, for myself as a consciousness teacher, I've been blessed with good health and good genes. I've been an athlete my whole life, and I don't pay a whole lot of attention to my health. So a lot of what you just said spoke right to me. So I'm going to go on that iJust and buy 3 of those, one for myself, one for my spouse, and one for my son, maybe 3 or 4 for my son, get out on every device he has. So that was super, super helpful.
And I have to say, Jackie, I did the same thing. Last Hanukkah, Christmas, all my kids got, and I have 17 godchildren. I'm only with 2 of them here at the water park, but they all got screens for their computer. Like, "Oh, thanks, Auntie Deb."
Yeah, right. They were really happy about that. That is so awesome. Well, thank you so much, Deb, for being here with us. I know you got to go back and be with your kids, but your generosity, your grace, your energy, your spirit is just such a blessing for all of us to be here today. So let's give it up, send some love. And Deb, I'm sorry, one last thing. Where can people find you? Because I know people are going to want to get in touch and follow your work. Where can they find you?
You know what? I'll just put, and they could go here, to yes to success. I'll put it in the, what do you call this thing? Chat.
The chat, yeah.
Yes to success.com, because usually I talk about success. So if you go there, you can get a free ebook, which has my 5 top secrets to living a successful life.
It's really
And
good.
by
I
the
read
way,
it this week, by the way. I read it this week. It's really good.
it's pretty good for
No, it's
yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Thank you. And I do have to go back because the Lazy River is calling me, but I am definitely going to watch the replay of this. Thank you for remembering to put on the recording.
Yeah, I did remember to put on record. All right, good. Enjoy the kids. Thank you for being with us. Much love to
I
you.
really love you so much.
Awesome sauce. This is so great. We're just getting ourselves warmed up here. So, I just want to pause and let you just take all that in. And I see Sahavra is writing some notes down there, and you guys are just, yeah, beautiful. Ruth is jotting down some things. That was tremendous. Annie, good, excellent. I will out myself a little bit. I say that I've recovered from lots of addictions, but I am kind of a sugarholic. I've got some zucchini chocolate brownies out on my counter out there that a friend makes for me, and sweets are kind of my downfall. So I'm going to take on what Deb said and really shift my consciousness about the food that I consume. All right, so you guys ready? Shift, turn, because our next speaker, I'm just so blessed. Actually, Dea Shandera is on today, and Dea, you are the person that introduced me to Ezra Ogut. So thank you for that. I can't see you on the screen here. Are you on the next screen? Anyway, so Dea, thank you for introducing me to our next speaker, Ezra Ogut. Ezra and I have worked together on a couple of summits. We did the Money Vibes Summit together a few months ago, and now on the Conscious Living Summit. And I invited her back on the second summit because I was just so taken with her. It's interesting, Ezra, I think what most spoke to me was really your energy, your clarity, your vibration, your steadiness. I just love being in your space. So Ezra, I'm just going to stop talking, turn it over to you, and invite you onto the next stage for the Conscious Living Summit.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can't see you though. Can you turn?
Yeah, no, I can't because I have my back out. So I am in bed. I'm not even able to sit up, but I didn't want to miss out on today. So I said, do or die, I'm coming.
Ezra, you're amazing. Wow. All right, thank you. You go ahead and begin. As you begin speaking, I'm going to pull up an image of you on my phone. So that people, and put it up here on the stream for a little bit so people can see you, because you are just so beautiful, and I just don't.
Thank you so much. Well, I just want to thank you so much for inviting me back and doing this Conscious Living Summit. Is awesome. The music, the song was amazing. The prayer, Deborah, I'm like definitely getting off the sugar too today.
No, right?
Yeah. So yeah, today I want to talk about, there's just so many different pieces to talk about. I'm like, oh my God, which one? But since we have a little time, it's actually, I don't know why I do this. I picked the most difficult thing to explain in the shortest time possible. But I want to talk about today what we call in our system, the being power. And the reason I want to talk about the being power is because this is a power that we all actually have. It's not anything we need to learn. It's something that we're all born with. We always have the being power, and we actually use it all the time, but we're not often very conscious about the fact that we use it all the time. So that's what I want to underline today. And before I begin speaking about it, I just want to do like a very basic, quick, funny exercise. So I'm going to ask all of you guys to just close your eyes for just a couple of seconds. And just, pull out your imaginary mirror. Imagine you're looking at yourself, at your beautiful face in front of a mirror. And just give a big smile to that mirror. And see what you get. Now give a wonderful frown to that mirror and see what you get. Now, in front of that mirror, say 1 or 2 sentences of something critical about yourself, just 1 or 2 sentences. See what you get back. And now shifting the energy, say 2 extremely loving things that you love about yourself and see what you get back. And now you can open your eyes. It's just a very silly exercise, but what I want to point out is, I hope nobody got anything different than who you were being in front of the mirror. If any of you got something different than who you were being in front of the mirror, well, then you have a very magical mirror that I might want to take a look at. But you see, we understand this concept that we get reflected, not what we're necessarily doing, but who we're being in front of a mirror very easily. Yet when we come back to life and we're living our lives, we so often can be in very different states compared to what it is that we're asking for, and get very frustrated when life doesn't reflect it. For example, let's say if we were talking about prosperity, simply because, you know, this first book I wrote out in English happens to be kind of the carrot is all about the prosperity consciousness. Well, when we're sitting and we're kind of worrying about money, kind of feeling it's never enough, feeling that we can't make ends meet, and in this kind of a, you know, struggling vibration, we cannot expect abundance or a raise or a change from the outside world to happen. Or let's say we're going through a time in our lives where we're being very self-critical about ourselves. Well, no one's from the outside going to come and rescue us. And yet we do kind of live with that expectation of not being a match to what it is we're asking for. And one of the reasons for this, I believe, is that we have, all of us, have a very, very heavy conditioning of do, have, be. You know, like go to school, get good grades, and then you'll be successful, and then you'll be happy. Or let's say it's about relationships. Well, you know, find a man or find a woman, you know, quickly get married, and then you'll feel secure. So the feeling is almost at the end of the formula. Whereas really, if we're manifesting our reality, consciously manifesting our reality in the way we prefer, the formula has to be completely reversed, and it's more about be. Then from that state of beingness, the doing is a natural flow from that state, do, and that will naturally match you up with whatever it is that you want to have. Now, for this not to stay just conceptually, one great exercise that we practice in our courses with my husband when we teach transformational coaching is a very, again, simple exercise. But really, the being power is not anything to be learned. It's about what we have already. It's about activating it and remembering we've always had it. So one great exercise in order to hook back into that power is maybe get a piece of paper, and maybe you can do this, you know, we don't have time to do it together here, but maybe after the course you can do it. After the summit you can do it. You write a problem, a major problem you've had in the past on the left side of a piece of paper. Then right next to it, you write how it was solved, like basically what you were experiencing once it was solved, something you know that ended up positively, maybe it was even life-changing. And then on the third column right next to that, you kind of backtrack and you try to remember, when was a moment's choice that changed everything for you? It's usually like a 5-second choice when, let's say, you're having the contrast and you're struggling, and then you're doing till the cows come home, and then nothing is changing. And then all of a sudden, you make what we call a being choice, where you decide not to do anything differently, but you decide to be different in relationship to the problem. And you will find that every major change that ever happened in your life, and I'm talking also of the small ones, like basically not having a home and then you're a homeowner, or it could be kind of life-changing. You're ill and then all of a sudden, bam, you know, you figure out the solution and you're healthy again. If you backtrack, you will see it was maybe not more than a 5 or 10 second decision you made about deciding to belong to something different than what you were belonging before. So I'd like to give a quick example because I think to ground things, examples are great. And I just want to quickly share my journey of how I came to the US, because I was born in Turkey. I lived all over Europe. And my biggest dream, I had that American dream thing going on. My biggest dream was to kind of come to the US. And I hadn't even come to the US as a tourist. So I don't know what it was about me that just wanted to reside in the US. I believe what I thought America, you know, was about, the Constitution, I felt kind of spoke to my soul more than any other country on the planet. So since age 16, I was wanting to go to the States, and my parents were very definitely no. They didn't want me trotting halfway across the world, their little daughter, and so they weren't going to give me the money. They were not going to send me to a school in the US. So from age 16 to my mid 20s or early 20s, I just hoped, I wished, I hoped, I wished. And of course, that never got me anywhere. Then I finished college in Turkey and started working in a TV station and, you know, learned how to be a producer there of these like small kind of, you know, cute little shows. And one day I remember thinking, I'm like, oh my God, is this my life? Is this the rest of my life? And I was like, no way. I am going to live the American dream. And I remember the moment. It's just 5 seconds usually, not anymore. I remember pouring coffee, waiting for the drips of the coffee to come up all the way to the top of the cup. And I just looked at the cup and I said, you know what? I am going to America. It's done. Kind of what the song was already saying, the prayer was already saying, it's already done in God's mind. And the minute I made what we call a being choice, using my being power, all of a sudden the whole universe started moving to support that. First of all, you know, I wanted to study film at UCLA, and it's like hundreds and thousands of dollars. There's no way my parents are going to be able to do that. And plus they don't want to, even if they could. Bam, all of a sudden, after I made that decision, although I had been researching like crazy before and had never found it before, I come across a certification on film and television in UCLA, which is costing only $7,000 a year, because it's a certification and not the academic program, which actually ended up being much better because you get taught by professionals in the business. So you're learning more practically than in the academic level. So bam, all of a sudden, oh my God, it's so much more doable. But again, I didn't have the $7,000, you know, I had just $2,000 saved. So after I made the being choice, this idea, inspired idea came. I'm like, okay, well, why don't I go and ask the TV station, the head of the TV station, to give me a scholarship, which is absolutely unheard of in Turkey. They do that in America. They do not do that in Turkey. So I got a meeting, and the guy couldn't give me a meeting before 25 days. So I spent those 25 days kind of like preparing all these arguments and everything as to why, you know, they should support me to go and study in the US. On the 25th day, I went to his room. I'll never forget. He looks at his watch and is like, Esther, I have to go to a funeral. Whatever you're going to say, you have 60 seconds to say it. So all my arguments went out the window, and I was like, very quickly, I'm like, you know what? I want to study movies, film and television in the US. I want to go to UCLA. It's this much money. And I think the company should just pay for it and support me. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. And I thought like, oh my God, nothing's ever going to come out of it. And 3 weeks later, I got the scholarship. So everything that was an impossibility when I was in that hope, want, wish, oh, one day it will happen, in the future, sometime it will happen, all that completely got reversed. And without even me understanding what on earth is going on, in 3 weeks after that being choice, I was on a plane to Los Angeles. So this is how powerful this being choice is. And everybody owns this power. There's not a single person on the planet that doesn't have it. And it's not like we need to even learn it. It's already there. We just need to remember it and utilize it more consciously.
Wonderful.
So just as I'm finishing, last little bit, again, let's just close the eyes. And let's think of a goal we might be having, something that could be big, it could be small. It could be the dream of our life. It could be just something simple like, oh, you know, I want to buy a home. It could be about healing a relationship with somebody we love. It could be our mother, father, partner, child. And really just get ready to listen to your own wisdom. That's the most powerful wisdom that is around, the one that belongs to you, the one that sits right inside of your own heart. And ask yourself the question, who would I be being if this relationship was already healed? Or who would I be being if I already belonged to abundance? I'm going to put myself on the table here as you're doing the exercise. And I'm going to ask myself, who would I be being if my back was perfectly fine? The answer I get is, I would be being someone way more in flow, having nothing to do with the push energy. For myself, that's what I'm getting. So write down your answers. It's a question, if asked very sincerely, it will activate your inner wisdom to give you the best possible answer around. Thank you so very much.
Ezra, thank you so, so much. And I don't know if you're going to stay on and listen, but because,
Yeah.
Oh, great, great. It's awesome. Thank you for that wisdom, beautiful stories. I'm so glad you're here with us in the United States. But what I know for sure is that we have a powerful energetic vortex here gathered around you right now. And I just want to take a moment and hold you in prayer. So if you guys would join with me, opening your heart chakra, opening your energy, holding Ezra in the center of this circle. We are representing literally energy from all around the globe. And I know when we focus that with intention, with love, that all highest purposes will be fulfilled. So Ezra, we hold you in this center of love and energy and this circle of unity and oneness and connection, knowing that your highest good is now made manifest right here, right now, as you, that healing is rushing to your back and to your body and to your being, that you are flow. You are in the flow as the flow because you are flowing as your highest self, as your God self on earth, with ease and peace and comfort. And we see this for you, for your highest and best, and for all those lives that you touch each and every day. And so it is. Amen.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I really felt that energy to my core. And it's really funny. I got to share this now that this is happening.
Okay.
So I was going through, like, there's a lot going on with the move. Certain members in my family, they're not feeling well health-wise, la, la, la. So I was in a space of feeling kind of not supported. And this morning when the back went out, because it's all about support, obviously the back, I'm like,
Right.
you know what? Okay, I said, you know what? I'm not going to be the one seeking support. I'm going to I need to switch to being the one that's giving myself the support.
Yeah.
And I decided that this morning, just before I got on the show. And that's what happens, and now that's getting reflected back to me. So that makes the point perfectly. Yes, life is a mirror. And thank you very, very much. I felt that love to my core.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Ezra, for sharing your wisdom and for, just your incredible integrity, keeping your word, even though you're flat out on your back, delivering a beautiful message for all of us. Ezra, tell me again, tell people how they can find you, where the best place is to get in touch with you and follow your work.
Sure. We just created our website in English, the new
English,
website.
right? Every time I Google you, I find a Turkish language website.
I know. We've had that one for a long time, so I'm sure that's the one that pops up. So I will actually write it here, I think.
Right, if you can do that.
Ike and EsraNow.com. Ike is my beloved, amazing being, and we teach everything together. We do everything we do together. He's an amazing bestseller. He's sold over 1 million copies of his book in Turkey and Turkish. And hopefully we're going to get that translated into English as well. And yeah, money does grow on trees. It's not just about prosperity, but it's about like how we can shift our belief systems and who we're being, how we can manage the ego when it starts to like put the brakes on and tries to keep us in our little boxes and perceptual limitations. So Money Does Grow on Trees, The Myths We Create and Live By on Amazon is available. Thank you, everybody.
Great book. I've read it already. So thank you so much for that. Ezra, it's great to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, take that in. Just continue to open your heart center and let's open up to the spirit as we continue on our Conscious Living Summit. Meg, you are still muted. You're muted again. Meg, you're muted, hon. Yep. You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
We're on an iPad, so we have to walk around. Okay. So it's just such a wonderful honor to be here and to be here with Lisa. And this is the very first song I ever wrote for Unity, I believe, over 20 years ago. It's called Open Up, and it still inspires me because it is that song about letting the light of my own spirit, you know, it's to enforce the love and the light that I am and that we all are. And I sing it when I'm feeling low. So I hope you'll join me as you learn the chorus. Open up to the spirit, open up to the one. Let thy will be done. Open up to the spirit. And Lisa's going to join me on harp. This is very exciting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up to the spirit. Open up to the one. Open up to the spirit. Let thy will be done. All of the promises that rain are pouring in on me every day. When I open up to the spirit, open up. Well, I've got a body. Oh, I've got a soul. I've got one love that I know how to hold. I got a window of time on this earth to celebrate my birth and connect to this power that makes me, power that makes me whole. Open up to the spirit, open up to the one, open up to the spirit, let thy will be done. All of the promises I pray are pouring in on me every day. When I open up to the spirit, open up. Open up to the spirit, everyone.
Woo! Thank you so much, Meg and Lisa. I love you guys. I love your music. I love what you're up to in this world. So thank you so much. Give them some love down on the chat, you guys, and let's just send them all kinds of love. So thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys so much. All right, I want to keep this summit moving along, the celebration of conscious living. So it's my turn to just share some words and to give a little message for you all today. Thank you. I see those messages coming in, Meg and Lisa. Thank you so much for that. Open up to the spirit. That's really my inspiration for doing this today. So thank you so much for the private messages that I'm getting here on chat, for the text messages I'm getting while we're doing this. If you can put yourself on video right now, I would love to talk to you and be connected with each and every one of you. Hey, Stan, see you over there. Kyla, awesome. Darla, thanks so much for being there. Ruth, all of you. So this happened the other day, Thursday afternoon. It was a gorgeous day. I'm in upstate New York in the Thousand Islands at my summer home. I finished teaching my Money Vibe Mastermind group, which is another one of my programs, the Vibe Method. Jim Hickman, Ovar, you guys were on that. Melissa Keenan, you're on that group. Also, Kirsten's awesome. So many of you are here from that. And I was just feeling great. It was a great class. We were just kicking butt and people were happy and elevating consciousness. And it's a gorgeous Thursday afternoon, middle of the day, middle of the work week. And I was like, I'm going to go celebrate. I'm just having so much fun with this. So I was like, I'm going to go out on the jet ski. But I looked at my little puppy dog, Zozo, and I was like, she really needs a walk. So off I go. It's a beautiful day. And I'm walking through the same lane where I've walked my entire life. This cottage that I own has been in my family 6 generations. And I'm walking through the trees and the sun is coming through and Zozo's just like so happy with me. And, clip, clip, whoosh, whoosh, clip, clip, whoosh, whoosh, as her paws go on the street. And we came up to the road and came out, from beyond the trees and the little camp road. And the sun is just extraordinary. It's like so warm on my face. And it's September in upstate New York. So we don't get too many blue skies, super warm days, mid 70s. So I can feel the sun on my face and just a light, cool breeze is just kissing my skin. And I was like, this is it. I teach in my curriculum for conscious living, a course called Life Design. I was like, this is it, man. I'm living my life by design, doing my work and out for a walk. And it's just so awesome. And then it happened. What are you doing walking the dog? You can walk the dog anytime. You stupid ass. It's beautiful out there. Look at the river. I live on the St. Lawrence River. Look at the river. Look at all the people out in their boats. You should be out on the jet ski. What are you doing walking the dog? You can walk the dog after dark, for God's sakes. Why are you walking the dog? You can get back to camp. You should be out on the jet ski. And it's like, what do you mean jet ski? You don't have time to go for a jet ski. You're walking the dog. You got to get back to work. You can't do this. Clap, clap, whoosh, whoosh, clap, clap, whoosh, whoosh. My dog's looking and smiling. And all of a sudden I thought, this is it. I'm a freaking teacher about living consciously. And here I am. The sun is still on my face. My dog is still smiling up at me. The breeze is still kissing my skin. And where was I? I was creating my own hell. So this little story points to the experience that we have a mistaken idea that our experience is generated by external conditions. I was happy because I could feel the sun and my dog was prancing and no, I was happy because I was present, because my mind was quiet, because love was engaged. My heart chakra was wide open. I was having the experience I was having because I was conscious and awake and aware. And just like that, whoosh, you know how it happens, right? I'm not the only one. Whoosh, it goes just like that. And I'm off. I'm still outside. My dog is still with me. The sun is still shining and the wind is still blowing nicely against me. But instead of having this moment of God presence, I'm engaged in this recrimination, self-deprecation. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you? You should be. Thus, the goal of my work, everything I do, this summit, all of my curriculums, all of my relationships, all of my conversations is to live consciously. The goal of humanity really is to awaken ourselves to the fact that we are fully human, fully divine. It's the fully human part that kind of gets in the way. So one of the things that we need to grapple with and understand is that the goal or the aim or the purpose, if you will, the purpose of humanity is to elevate our consciousness and to understand the truth of who we are, and that is God's self expressing. Who we are is our God self on earth, but we don't have that experience when our humanity is in our face running the show. So one of the things that I want to bring to you today and just invite you to begin playing with today, this week, and that is we are in a process of conscious evolution of humanity. That is our role. The question for you is, and I want you to sit with us during our whole talk today and during this whole time, how consciously are you living? And is the way that you are living, consciously or not, leading to your evolution, evolving back to the humanity, the divinity from which we came? Are you evolving back to the divinity from which you came, or are you devolving more into your human experience? And you'll know the answer to this through the experience of your day-to-day lived experience. If you're frequently in the experience of suffering, inner suffering, stress, worry, then I want to invite you to consider that you're not evolving consciously, that you are in fact involved in devolving. Now, that is not to be confused with the fact that this is one of the misnomers I'm going to talk about, that a lot of people think to live consciously, to live an awakened life, means that you never have a negative thought or you never have a negative emotion. That is not true. The truth is that you are not your thoughts. You are not your personality. And I know, like, this is where the ego gets involved. It's like, well, I am myself. I got to just be myself. Well, let me ask you, are you your right hand? If you cut off your right hand, are you still you? You are no more you, the you of you are no more your thoughts and emotions than you are your right hand. You are not the content of your mind. And when you identify as being the content of your mind, that's when you suffer. When you identify as being the content of your mind, that is when you suffer. So then the question is, well, Jackie, okay, fine. I'm not my thoughts. What do you mean I'm not my thoughts? I'm not my emotions. If I'm not that, then who am I? What else is left? Exactly. What's left is pure presence. What's left is awareness. You are not your thoughts. You are the ability to observe your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the ability to observe your emotions. So of course you're going to have moments of upset. That story that I told you, you should have seen me preparing for this summit this week, writing my talk and then writing it again and then rewriting it. And then of course, like, is anybody going to show? Maybe nobody won't be there. And I'll just be delivering my talk to Lisa and Megan Shipley. Right? There's this crazy ass head that goes on over here. And I teach this stuff. So the fact that you might have moments of like the crazy head going on over there does not mean you're not awakening. It means that you need to just learn to shift from the content of what's happening in your mind to the conditioning of recognizing I am not my thoughts. I am the pure awareness through which thoughts occur. It's an interesting distinction, isn't it? I am not my thoughts. So then I have these stupid ass thoughts. I have stupid ass thoughts, and maybe you do. I don't know. I have enough for all of us, really. So if you don't have them, that's okay. I'll share mine. So I have these stupid ass thoughts. And instead of like going down that tunnel of like, why do I do this? I probably shouldn't do a summit. Why did I do? I'm not going to do any more summits. I'm not going to I'm not going to put myself out there because, maybe nobody's going to come. And I'll get in touch with my team and be like, no, don't send out the emails. We'll just see what happens, right? Do you see, when you follow your crazy ass thoughts, what happens is crazy ass activity and behavior that follow your crazy ass thoughts. Don't you love that we can use the word ass in so many ways? See, there I am chasing my crazy ass thoughts again, right? But this is like what, so when you follow these low consciousness, low vibration, limiting, fear-based, whatever thoughts, when you follow them, then you are not living consciously. When you have them and be like, oh, there it is. There's that thought. Thank you for sharing. But you recognize that I am the awareness of the thought. In that moment, you have freedom. In that moment of awareness, oh, there's a thought, you have freedom. But you can't have freedom when you don't recognize the thought is just a thought. The feeling is just a feeling. Let it pass. It's like gas a little bit. You're gonna have it. Doesn't mean you have to really like it. You don't have to share it with everybody. Let it pass, right? So who are you? You are not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You are the pure awareness, the pure consciousness of God, observing, experiencing your thoughts and your emotions. That's who you are. And so I want you to have this analogy of, like, your thoughts being like a cloud in the sky. They move, they go by. Your emotions, maybe, sometimes there's big, heavy, dark ones, and sometimes there's just light, airy, and fluffy ones, but they move. You are the sky. You are God consciousness. I say our job is to be our God self on earth. Raising consciousness, not meaning I have to be happy all the time. It doesn't mean that. Raising consciousness means your ability to observe and then choose how to use this beautiful faculty that we have of thought and emotion. That's why we're here. Tibetan Buddhist monk Mingyur Rinpoche, in his wonderful book that I'm reading by him, wrote, "Nothing is more essential for the 21st century and beyond than personal transformation." Let me say that sentence again. Nothing is more essential for the 21st century and beyond than personal transformation. He goes on to say, it is our only hope. Transforming ourselves is transforming the world. Transforming ourselves is transforming the world. So I want you to just take a moment, go within, affirm right now with me for the world. As I transform myself, all of humanity changes. Just affirm that silently to yourself. As I transform, all of humanity changes. As I grow in consciousness, all of humanity changes. As I grow, we all grow. See, there's only one of us. Come back. There's only one of us. There is only one consciousness that we are and that God is. Therefore, anytime I separate myself from the weight of emotion, from the weight of thought, of those low vibration thoughts, anytime I elevate my consciousness so that I don't plummet to the depths quite as badly as I have in the past, anytime I elevate, all of humanity comes with me. A high tide raises all boats. So your personal transformation is the only hope we have. There is nothing more important. So thank you for being here with us, having this day, this dialogue, this time. So then the question becomes, and I want to pose it to you, how do we then engage in personal transformation? How do we do this? How do we do this work of personal transformation? Well, I want to begin by cleaning up a couple misconceptions that I see too many people have. And one of them is that awakening means that you never have a negative thought or a negative emotion. That is not true. The most awakened people sometimes suffer with difficult emotions and often have negative low vibe thoughts. So in order for you to grow, one of the things that you need to do is recognize that having low consciousness thought or emotion is part of the human condition. It doesn't mean, thank you, Pamela and Stephen, what an insight, thank you. Yeah, you can have this, here's the distinction. It's fine for you to have a negative thought or a negative emotion, but don't let it have you. Have it, it's gonna come, gonna pass. You can just laugh and be like, oh yeah, Jackie said it's just like gas. Those are low vibe thoughts and low vibe feelings. They're gonna come and they're gonna go. Some of you know this who followed me and been involved with my work before, but I've recovered from a long history of clinical depression. So I really know that inner world of negative thought, negative emotion, negative body sensation. I know what it's like to wake up in the morning with the thought, another meaningless day of endless activity. I know what it's like to end my day feeling like nothing I do matters. So those thoughts still are with me. They still go through my consciousness. And today I just been like, thank God I don't live there anymore. Thank you, God, that who I am has transcended the experience of knowing myself as that limited human being who's suffering. So the first thing that I want to, the misconception that I want to distill and clear up is that there's, you know, awakening means that you're happy all the time. That's such bullshit. You're not happy all the time. You know, I know lots of really awakened people. They're not happy all the time. So it's okay. You can have thoughts, you can have emotions. Don't let them have you. Observe them. Choose freedom. The second misconception that I want to clear up, and this is so important because many spiritual teachers teach that one of the paths to awakening is through meditation. And it's absolutely true. Meditation is it's just essential to your awakening. But thank you, Pamela, I appreciate that. So many people recognize that meditation is an essential part. Why? Because you have to learn mastery over your inner world and your mind. But I can't tell you how many hundreds, if not thousands of students that I've spoken to over the years who come to me and say, Jackie, I know you're right. Like meditation, it's so important. And you know, I've really tried, but I just can't do it. It just doesn't work for me. How many of you had that thought before? How many of you had that feeling? Notice my hand is up. So here's the thing. Of course you can't do it, because meditation does not mean sitting for hours or minutes on end with a quiet mind and no thoughts. The initial goal of meditation is not to quiet your mind. It is to understand your mind, to observe your mind, to learn what your mind does and what it doesn't do, to recognize mind patterns, and then to recognize that you are the one observing what your mind does. When you begin to separate thought and mind, emotion and mind, and you recognize, I'm not the thought, I'm the pure awareness observing the thought. As you awaken your mind that you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions, you begin to live consciously, because then you can choose. As you begin the ability to separate and you're observing, do you know what you have? The ability to detach. Every day I have some kind of thought of lack, insufficiency. I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. I haven't traveled all over the world to speak like Ezra, or I haven't had Deepak Chopra take my classes like Deb. Every single day. But when I can observe those thoughts with detachment, no attachment, no emotion, no, oh, that's true, and going down that tunnel. Good Lord, if I did that, I would not be here with you today. So when you have the capacity to use meditation to observe your mind, to get to know your mind, then you can begin conditioning your mind to higher levels of thought, higher levels of emotion, because you have freedom, you have choice. So as you develop mastery, observing the mind, you can begin to use the mind to fulfill its actual purpose. Curious what that is? The purpose of your mind, the purpose of your emotions, is to serve the evolution of your soul. Purpose of your mind, the purpose of your emotion is to serve the conscious evolution of humanity. So our job, our joy, our purpose is to awaken humanity, awaken ourselves to our own innate divinity as pure awareness, as pure consciousness, so that the light of Christ consciousness shines forth through you and as you. You are here as part of humanity to awaken and to live consciously. Or as my dog would say on a bright sunny day, pat, pat, whoosh, whoosh, pat, pat, whoosh, whoosh. I hope you'll all enjoy these thoughts as we continue together to awaken to our divinity. Thank you. Shipley, make sure you unmute before you begin, okay? And Lisa, you're still muted. You're muted, Lisa, yeah. Thank you, Kayla, Melissa, Ezra, thank you for hearing that from you. Ovar, awesome. Pamela, really appreciate your thoughts. Debbie, thanks for weighing in. It's just so nice to hear from all of you, and your thoughts are clouds that you painted on the sky. They pass and you are left with a fresh canvas. That's beautiful, Pamela. I love that. I may steal that and put it in my next book. Thank you, Stephen, for that thought. Stan, thank you. Lisa, Meg, you guys all set? As these guys continue to prepare, I just want to let you all know that after we do some music and some meditation, we are going to open up for some dialogue and some sharing with all of you. So yeah, so I look forward to hearing your thoughts and reflections on what we've experienced here today.
In the silence I shall go. In the stillness there's a knowing. In the presence of divine love, I am loved. I am loved. Shemaya, 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 Shemaya.
So let us go into that stillness, that silence now. If you feel comfortable doing so, I invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And let go. We are entering a time of meditation in the realm of pure potentiality. Basically, what we are doing is making ourselves available. Michael Beckwith says our greatest ability is our availability. Making ourselves available to the callings and the influence of the Holy One. In the silence, we align ourselves with the vibration of that one. The vibration that vibrates the world into being. What wondrous talks we have heard today. So much information. I don't know about you, but my head is spinning. I'd like us just to relax into that and know that we will receive exactly what we need to receive for our own growth and unfoldment. We are all here on purpose. Each one of us has an individual mission, but our purpose is all the same. Revealing God, as Jackie always says, we're Godding on earth. We are being the highest of ourselves when we are able. But when we are not, we let go and know that that is part of the process. Just as Jackie has said, we simply observe. So much of what we are doing is serving our own health, growth of our health. As Deb taught us, we are looking at how we are being. Our being is be, have, do. Bring this all within, into the silent space. Let's just go into the silence now for a few minutes. Just let it all settle. I'm going to ask you some questions afterwards to help you perhaps create a vision for yourself. We are all called in our own unique way. So much may be in our minds right now. I think we need some silence. So please be still in silence. We allow ourselves to be still. Often things just drop in. The Holy One. We are given information about how we are living, how consciously we are living, how we are being, and what is ours to do. How are we called to reimagine humanity, our place in the world? So my questions are, is there something that's calling in your heart that you learned today? Is there some particular message that came through and really stirred your heart? And if so, what will you do with that? If you don't know yet, maybe you just allow that to be in your heart. The Spirit will guide you. We are always being guided and directed if we allow ourselves to be open. Some of us may start to get a vision of what's possible. Something's formulating in your mind. You might want to really see it. As we see, so shall it be. Can we get excited about it? Can we get into the feeling nature of it? What is possible in the world? Is there something calling you that you have the hard time believing it? But it can be if you allow yourself to get into the feeling of it and see it See it already done. See it already accomplished. In God's mind, it's already done. It's already done. It's there for you. It's there for you to choose. Today, we have been so blessed by so much. We know that it's all on purpose. Humanity reimagined a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. We have been called. There's a reason we're here. We've all been called to aid in this transformation that is occurring all around the planet. Do you see it? Because we may just look around and see all the terrible things that are happening. And there's so much good that's happening. Such wondrous things, such transformation. Let's focus on that. Let's go forth this day, remembering to see what is happening, to see the transformation and to feel the transformation in our own hearts. Thank you, speakers, Deb, Ezra, Jackie. You have given us so much. Thank you, Meg. Thank you, Lisa. We are so richly blessed. We go forth now changed. We came here on purpose. We carry that forth now into our worlds. So it is.
In the silence, I shall go. In the stillness, there's a knowing. In the presence of divine love, I am loved. I am loved. Shemaiah, 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 Shemaiah. In the silence, I shall go. In the stillness, there's a knowing. In the presence of my love, I am loved. I am loved. Shemaiah, 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 Shemaiah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lisa and Meg. Lisa, shout out, you wrote that meditation chant. Yes, Shemaiah, you wrote that?
Yeah,
No.
Shemaiah. In
Yeah.
Aramaic,
I'm sorry, say again.
written in Aramaic,
Yes, yes.
Jesus' original language.
I just want to share with people that perhaps don't know, Shemaiah, as Shipley taught me before we got on today, means that which arises and shines in space. It could mean light, sound, vibration, name, or word. That's why in scripture, when it says in the beginning was the word, it could also be translated as in the beginning was the vibration. Shem also includes one's own particular sound vibration. So Shemaiah, that which arises in space, like our thoughts and our emotions. Shem, your energetic vibration, the energy created by your beliefs, emotions, attitudes, and thoughts, which is in fact my definition of consciousness, the energetic pattern created by your beliefs, emotions, attitudes, and thoughts. So thank you all for continuing to hang in here with us. I want to give opportunity now for anybody to ask a question or share a reflection on our time together before we wrap up today. So if you would just unmute yourself. I'm not going to be able to see everybody on screen, but please unmute yourself and let us know that you have something you'd like to share. Hi, Anna Lang. Good to see you on camera. Anybody have a thought, a reflection?
I do.
Great, would love to hear it. And then Jim, you can follow right up after that. Was that, I'm not sure who said that. Who said the I do?
Lisa,
Oh, great. Awesome, Lisa. Thank you. And
I
then
just-
Jim Hickman, go ahead and follow.
yeah, Jackie, I just want to share that I'm really grateful to be a part of something like this.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I have an awareness, this is the work that I came to do as well. And I love what you said about consciousness raising. It really resonates with me. So I'm grateful to be here and I thank you.
Awesome. So great, Lisa. Thank you for your generosity and being
Well,
here. Jim Hickman and then Ovar, I see you've got your hand raised as well. So great. And I love that people are commenting in the chat room. So it's great. So Jim Hickman, go ahead, take yourself off mute. And then Ovar, you're in the wings.
Yeah, I'll see if I can describe this. I appreciated your comments about you can have negative thoughts and negative emotions. Just don't let those thoughts and feelings have you. Okay, good one. Then in comparison, we learn from various people like you and others who teach personal transformation that as we imagine, in my case, the man I am becoming, there's an element of the fantasy, the image, and then the emotion of it that you need to develop strongly, in a sense, inside of you to bring this, in a sense, manifest this into the world. So there's this, tension between having it inhabit me to become who I'm becoming and recognizing that I don't want it to have me, as you put it.
Yeah, I get it, Jim. You know, it takes a lot to put all of that God force life, all that God force energy into the human being, right? So that's the tension that we feel. We are infinite, unlimited, energetic beings of creativity and possibility, and we have to squish all of that down into this human condition, and that takes something, as we all can feel, right? But the more that we raise up in consciousness, the more we separate, I am not that thought, then we can consciously choose. That's part B of my talk that I didn't deliver. Then we can consciously choose what thought, what emotion we're going to have. And then it gets really fun and sexy and creative, because then we can choose thoughts that lift us up into the, as you said, Jim, that man that you know you are becoming, that man that is filled with possibility. Awesome. Thank you, Jim. Ovar, can you put yourself on camera, or can you put yourself on camera?
Yeah, no, the desktop is just, don't know what's wrong with it, but I'm trying to get it fixed. But for now, no camera, unfortunately. I am a looker though. But yeah, I wanted to comment on reminding me to let it pass, because it's so easy to get overwhelmed and carried away, you know. It's done like that. And also, I love the comment about your description of compressing consciousness into this body. Because I just did an hour yoga session, a body awake yoga, before I jumped on this call, and that's exactly how it is. We're compressing consciousness and filling every inch of our space that we live in every day with more and more awareness. And yeah, just loved your comment on, I think it was the high tide raises all boats.
Yes.
Loved it.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Ovar. Anybody else? Anybody else want to hop in? You can raise your physical hand, or, well, probably not, because I won't see you, or just take yourself off mute.
Hey, Jackie, Stan, can you hear me?
Hey, Stan, yes, I can hear you. Would love to hear your reflections.
Oh, this was freaking amazing today, and it's so timely for me. I had actually just pulled into Hayes Point for a nice 4-mile run. And then I got your email and I just clicked on it, and I had an amazing run. It's been an amazing experience, and I just want to thank you for your obedience. I want to thank you for being present and conscious and just sharing all the good that you have to give to the world. That's all I wanted to share.
Dude, thank you
I'm
so
done.
much, bro. Thank you so much. I love that you're out doing that 4-mile run. You know, you inspire me every single day to live a more conscious life with my body, my health. You're just awesome and amazing. Thank you, Stan. And if anyone wants to also share your thoughts and reflections to me personally, you can email me at jackie@jackiewoodside.com. I would actually like to collect some thoughts from our live kickoff event today to pass out in some of the emails that I'll be sending out with the summit going forth. So it's jackie@jackiewoodside.com. I can just put that in the chat. All right, anybody else want to chime in?
Do you want to chime in?
Anna, do you have anything? You're laughing over there. Anything you want to add to our conversation?
Jackie, this has just been a phenomenal kickoff. I really appreciated the music. I really appreciated the deep thought that went into the flow and bringing us through an experience.
Yeah.
To get us set up properly for what's coming next.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved your speakers. I loved the information, and I loved the reflections.
Yeah.
Like that you guys are taking us there, and you're doing it so beautifully.
So great. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, I mean, that really was my goal with this kickoff event today, was that we would really celebrate together. And then what's going to happen for these next 14 days is you're going to be receiving an email with a talk from, you know, different teachers and spiritual teachers, consciousness teachers, and coaches over the next 14 days. And, you know, so more to just keep engaging in this conversation. But I love these live events where we come together to celebrate the presence and awaken ourselves to our own divinity. So with that, let's unless anybody else has anything, last chance. All right.
Jackie, I just want to
Yeah.
say something. Thank you so much for reminding everyone how becoming more conscious doesn't mean being rid of kind of negative thoughts, negative emotions. I think that's so important, because a lot of people who come, you know, to receive coaching or want and seeking transformation, they do have this idea that they're going to get to a perfect, you know, space
Right.
where they're just going to be happy 100%,
Always
no contrast of
Yeah.
any kind. And that's absolutely so not true.
Yeah.
And I think, like, on the contrary, and it reminded me when you were talking, like a tree, you know, the higher our branches go, actually, the deeper our roots need to ground into the earth. And that as the roots deepen, we begin to hit rocks that we weren't even aware existed. Those limited self-perceptions we have of the self that we might have not even known were there unless we had expanded in the light.
Yes.
So there's a perfect dance of the light and the shadow, and both to be honored and to be loved equally. So that's what it reminded me. Thank you so much.
So beautiful, Ezra, and thank you for being here and highlighting that. I do think it's really important as we move into this continued phase of conscious evolution. You know, people think that, you know, I get a coach or take this class or do a workshop so that I will feel peaceful forever. And just as you said, Ezra, in your talk, begin with the being.
Yeah.
Bring peacefulness to the conversation, bring peacefulness to the class, bring prosperity to your coaching work. Begin with.
Exactly. Thank you. It was a very inspirational speech.
Thank you. Somebody asked on chat, you know, how I define God. I mean, the original vibe. So I do want to just answer that, and then Lisa you afterwards. But I just want to say how when I'm talking about God, what I'm referring to is the animating life force energy behind all creation. The animating life force energy behind all creation. So there is God's self in everything, in nature. You know, there's God's self in my phone. One of my teachers and mentors, Dr. David Hawkins, said that when you can stare at the garbage heap and see God there, you'll know that you're beginning to awaken. There's life force energy in everything, and that life force energy is what I'm talking about, not the, you know, kind of traditional notion of a white man in the clouds with a beard. No, that's Santa Claus. We want to differentiate Santa Claus from God. They're not the same thing. God is you and me right now. Look at your screen. This is God. This is us. This is us guiding it on earth. Each and every one of us bringing forth God energy into this space. Lisa and Meg?
Yes. So I want to say
Nice.
thank you again. I can't wait for the next one.
Oh,
And,
awesome. Yeah, I actually have one in mind, so just so you know, and Shipley, you're a part of it. Yeah, and you're going to give a talk on the next one. Unity for all humanity, I think, is the next one, and I want to feature some of my favorite Unity and New Thought teachers on it. So that's the one that is getting birthed in my consciousness right now.
Oh, can't wait. Well, Lisa with an H, Lisa Plumley, and I, Meg Rain, we're both available on every medium, Amazon, iTunes, Spotify. My tunes are on particularly my latest album, which is called I Am the One I Am Waiting For. Haha. And Lisa has a new CD called
Tornado and a thunderstorm.
Tornado and a Thunderstorm. So just saying, look out for those. And this is called Shine. And I think you inspired it, Shipley. Of course, I always get my music when someone says, I have a talk to write and it's on this topic. And I say, okay, what are we going to do? So here Spirit gave me this, and I hope you'll join in. From Marianne Williamson's talk is in here. If you listen to it, there's a little reference to that too. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're all gonna shine like the sun. And you shake off the weight of the illusion. We're lifting the veil. Finally wake up and lose the confusion and drink from the one holy grail. And shine like the sun. We're all gonna shine like the sun. It's our light, not our darkness that frightens us. Who are we meant to be? Brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. We're meant to fly free and shine like the sun. Everybody shine.
Yes, isn't it interesting? It's our light, not our darkness, that scares us the most. So, I invite you all today, turn yourselves on, go for it, and celebrate.
Awesome. Beautiful, everybody. Thank you so, so much for being here. That is the completion. Shipley, any further benediction? You good? That's your,
Oh, my benediction.
that was your benediction.
Shine.
Send ourselves on and shine. So that is your charge from our time together today from the Conscious Living Summit. Turn yourselves on and shine. So just a reminder for those of you who are registered for the summit, which is all of you, because otherwise you wouldn't have gotten the link to this. If you want to pass this on to friends of yours, tell them to watch it. It's not too late to sign up for the summit. There will be a replay of this being sent out in the next couple of days. It's going to take me a while to get it produced and whatnot. But so send this on to friends of yours, invite them to sign up for the Conscious Living Summit. And thank you so much for celebrating the presence and awakening humanity to its divinity together today. We are complete. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Love, love.
Bye, Jackie. Thank you so much. What a transformational experience.
Oh, you're so welcome. Who is that?
It's Stephen.
Stephen.
Oh, Stephen, thank you. I couldn't see who was speaking. Hi, Stephen. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It was lovely to meet you guys.
That's right. Thank you, you as well. We're students of Deborah, and she led us to you. So
Oh, that's great.
the other important thing is to always keep your feet on the path, because somewhere in front of you is a new experience that you need to have. And unless you keep moving, you'll never get there.
Just keep moving. I love that. I love that. Thank you.
Bless you.
Blessings.
Thank you, Jackie.
You're so welcome, Anna. Thanks for hopping on, honey. It was great to see you today.
We did it.
Yay, we did it.
We did it. Yay. I had to see it end.
I know, it was really fun. You guys did great. You guys are a good team.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you guys are a really great team.
Thanks,
So-
Jack.
I do have a vision for doing one for Unity Ministers. I think that would be fun. Arthur, you're welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us. Appreciate that.
Anytime. Thank you very much.
Shipley already logged off and wants to do a post review. Yes, of course. Virginia, I saw that you just hopped on, so we just completed, but you'll get an email with the replay. We started at noon and just completed. It was really fun. Raylene, you're very welcome. That's big love to you as well. All right, I'm gonna close out the window. Lisa and Meg, will you guys just? Oh, Ezra, great.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna close off. Okay, see you soon, Ezra. I'm gonna close off the meeting room, but if you guys could just hop back on, so Shipley and you and I can just do a debrief on our time, that would be great. Okay, great. I'm gonna log off. Yeah, Virginia, bye-bye. Dea, you just hop back on. You need anything, hon? Or did you just get bumped off and we're coming back on?
But I just wanted to know if you talked about what the schedule is coming up, because I'm not clear on that.
Yeah, so each day for the next 14 days, you'll receive an email with a featured speaker, an interview with a featured speaker. I don't know off the top of my head what the list is.
But is it 9 to 11 every day for 14 days?
No, it's a recording, so you can watch.
Oh, okay.
You can
Okay,
watch
so
it.
this is just the kickoff.
This is just the kickoff.
Okay,
Exactly.
well, you were amazing. It was fabulous. I'm very happy about it. So thank you, thank you, thank
Oh,
you.
you're so welcome, Dea. Great to see you.
You too. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to close out the window. Ship, you're going to have to log back on. I'm going to close out this meeting and then just come back onto this. I assume there's some people who might just still have walked away or, whatever. And their cameras are still on or they're still connected to the meeting. So when I close the meeting, it will disconnect everybody, but it'll disconnect you guys. So then let's just log back on. So I'm going to close this out and then log back on. Peace out, guys.
Okay.